Happy Thursday, my darling pop culture junkies. It's another wild, wild week of all things pop culture, and it's me bringing it to you on Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays, and the me is Brooke.
On Thursdays.
Hi guys. Well, I every week I am just dumbfounded. I actually didn't know that I was going to be able to deliver a newsletter or a podcast this week, because if you did watch the pod last week, you may have noticed that I had a slightly different look than I normally do. I was like fully in soft clothes, I'd like to say, but I was in leggings, sweatshirt. I didn't really have makeup on. I washed my hair, but I barely brushed it, and I was crabby. I was crabby to the producers. I was crabby to everyone that day. And shortly after recording the podcast, I fell into like a fevered hallucination, and I didn't get out of bed. I recorded that Monday afternoon, and I did not get out of bed until Friday. And like, you need to understand that's not my MO. Like, I get sick and I power through. It knocked me out. And I also was under the impression for 2 of those days that I had COVID, because I took the COVID tests and it came back positive in my brain, but my brain was rattled and I misread the directions. Like, I knew them. I've done these a million times, so I know it by heart, like 1 line, 2 lines, positive, negative. But I was so determined that I was so sick that I just saw it as positive. So I told everybody I had COVID, didn't let anybody come near me. And it turned out I didn't have COVID. Only after I felt a little better and I took another test. And then I was like, oh, it's negative. And I was like, wait, that's the same results as once. I went fishing through my garbage can in the bathroom. Like, literally, no, you've lost all sort of credibility as a human when you're on your hands and knees in your bathroom going through your garbage can, fishing out old COVID tests. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't have COVID. Nope, that was wrong. I was going about it all wrong. I also then thought I had the bubonic plague after watching Hamnet, which to me, I don't even know if we've talked about Hamnet, guys, but that was not a movie for me. I mean, the acting is incredible. She deserves an Oscar, but like, it's just sad porn to me. It's just like let's make a movie about as heart-wrenching of an ordeal and make that about child loss and make that child an adorable cherub who you want to protect in all costs. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because it plays nicely into Punch the Monkey, which obviously everyone's talking about, and that's what we're going to get to. But I was that sick, and I was like, maybe death is better. Like, I couldn't get my head off the pillow, and I did do some work, like I tried, but it was a lost cause. So anyway, on Friday, I did not think that I would ever see the light of day again. I could not imagine a world where I was going to be able to write, let alone record a podcast. But here I am. I'm back, and I am so sorry for my East Coast people, but it is 80 degrees in LA as I record this, and I am never going to complain, though it does my brain in. I don't understand the sense of time. Like, we could still be in 2021 for all I care. It's just been one continuous loop. I don't understand, but I prefer that and the mental health crisis it may create in my brain than the snowstorm, because those days are over for me. I don't have the strength and the constitution for that. But I also don't have the strength and constitution to look at like the world news and be okay. So the Epstein stuff just continues to baffle all of us. The former Prince Andrew was arrested on his birthday, which is just a weird detail. And it's weird, like, there's so many people who are involved with this travesty that I have met along the way or have known or have had relationships with or friendships with. Prince Andrew is not somebody I've had a friendship with or a relationship with, but somebody I've interacted with, somebody I've known in social situations. I've been on a plane with, I've dined with. And honestly, like, the only thing that strikes me about that lot. And I haven't met the king, his brother, or William and Kate, who seems quite intelligent to me. But Andrew and Fergie, sorry, they just didn't strike me as the most intelligent. Educated and intelligence are different things. They just didn't seem, he certainly thought quite highly of himself and he thought quite highly of his station in life, but that doesn't mean that he was intelligent. And in fact, I think he was quite unintelligent. And in fact, the interview that he gave and what we've seen subsequent reports that he really thought that BBC interview that he sat, or was it BBC or I think it was the other network. Anyway, the very, very damning broadcast interview that he sat for several years ago to explain himself away, where he walked away thinking he did a really good job. And he thought like, right. I've just told them that I had at one point in my life an illness that prevented me from sweating. A very strange thing that only happened for a segment of his life because now he sweats. Like he really thought that went well. So we're not talking about his arrest or the former ambassador to the US, the UK ambassador, also arrested this week. The horrible eruption of criminal activity across Mexico, specifically Puerto Vallarta, due to all the cartel craziness. And who killed the head cartel guy? I think US was behind it, but Mexicans, I don't know. The federales, it's gone crazy. People are stuck in their resorts. I mean, it is actually scary. It's like, I love Mexico. I love it. So it is scary for people who are citizens there, who are expats living there, tourists that are there. Not talking about that. Not talking about the State of the Union, not talking about the end of the Olympics, because that's sad. We are going to talk about some Olympics. But we're here really, really because all of us collectively are ready to ride at dawn for Punch the monkey. And so that's what I really wanted to talk about today. I also want to talk about Alysa Liu. And did I pronounce that right? Liu. I think that's right. Who is I'm terrible with names, so like no disrespect, but she is the incredible figure skating champion from the US, and her backstory is incredible, and the memes are incredible. And then a few other fun things if we get to it. I'm not going to sit here and take up too much of your time, but Punch the monkey. I, granted, was so ill, so I was already a wreck, and anything emotional, I would watch a movie and it was, the thing threw me over the edge. This monkey, I thought when I was first seeing it, I was the only one like in that world, because when you're so sick and you just you feel so alone and you feel like the weight of the world is on you. And so I didn't quite grasp the cultural impact that this little monkey was having. So let me give you a little context, because I did the research. So you guys, and I'm going to, again, don't yell at me for mispronouncing things, but let's just go through the history. So this is, oh my God, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, so Punch is Japanese, and Punch's Japanese name is Punchikun. So they call him Punch. And I don't know how to pronounce this monkey. Macaque. McKay? Anyway, we're just going to spell it out. It's a monkey. A Japanese monkey, and it's in Ichikawa City, which is just outside of Tokyo. I remember seeing the signs when I was on the train. Punch was born July 26th. What does that make Punch? Let's see. All my astrologer, July 26th sign. Let's see. That makes Punch a Leo. So I'd love to hear from my friend Vanessa Critchell or other astrology people on what that means for Punch. Unfortunately am not the person to ask. But born on July 26th, and his mother was a first-time mom, like a teen mom, if you will, and had no experience with having a baby, is in this this sort of environment that to me is heartbreaking. I think to a lot of people it's heartbreaking, even though I know the zookeepers are incredibly hands-on and it's a very loving environment. The environment for which the monkey sort of enclosure is very cement. It's not what their natural habitat would be, which according to all the research I did would be very lush, very much like in the like greenery and so forth, and it's very stark. And so maybe Mama was like a little on edge from that. It was also one of the hottest summers there on record. I was there in July. I can attest to it. So Mom was uncomfortable, hot, cement, the heat coming up. She had this baby and was like, no, thank you, and rejected him immediately. And in the wild, the only good news here is that in the wild, that would be instant death. Like baby would die, baby would starve, baby would be gone, baby would be eaten by prey the next day. So the zookeepers were able to intervene, and Punch became their sort of, child, except they gave Punch a IKEA stuffy, an orangutan plush toy. And from the day that he was born, I keep saying she, because he reminds me of my baby chicken, the puppy. But you can see I'm showing pictures right now of little baby Punch on the day he was born with said orangutan stuffy. And these pictures, I mean, heart-wrenching. And so we only are going back to these now. We didn't yet have Punch on our radar. It wasn't until recently a video that got captured went viral of a different monkey, not Punch's mom, but another grown monkey that went and literally attacked Punch, dragged Punch across the ground, the cement, I guess as Punch was approaching her child. And Punch just wanted friends. Here's the video, guys. I can't watch it. I'm not going to watch it with you. Just a warning. I can't do it. So Punch runs from this woman who beat this female monkey who beat him up and is like traumatized, and runs to his mother, which is the stuffed animal, stuffy orangutan, and is just like turning to this stuffed animal for protection and love and trying to get the stuffed animal to hug him. And let me just read this to you before we go into all the social posts, because my friend Amy Harris, who's an incredible writer, she was a writer on Sex and the City. She was a showrunner for Carrie Diaries. She did The Wild. She's incredible. She said this to me in a conversation, and I was like, oh man, you're right. This is exactly right. I feel like Punch is everyone's spirit animal, looking for community, but struggling in our concrete jungles. I think that's why we all feel so deeply connected to him. Deep down, we all feel like him. I mean, that loneliness, that just, I want to be loved, that feeling of rejection, that feeling of just wanting to fit in, that she's right. It's just too much. I cried ugly tears. The internet cried ugly tears. This woman, frankly, I feel is all of us.
Oh no, he's alone. Nobody talks to him.
Don't worry, baby. He found his family.
Did he?
Yeah, you did.
But nobody wants to talk to him and be friends with him.
And then some of the social media posts just break me in the best of ways. I'll give it to Twitter. They had some good content here. We ride at dawn to defend Punch's honor. Punch is trying to make the stuffed animal hug him. I'm not crying, you're crying, with a video of the said trying to make the stuffy hug him. My mental health is dependent on him being happy, correct? This was one of my favorites. This was sent to me by a lot. No, I can't meet you for a drink. I'm busy monitoring this monkey situation. And then this was me. I can't keep crying over this fucking monkey every day. I have a job. And they go on and on. But then they're very funny because there's the evolution. It's like, then this is Punch in a few years coming back to get revenge. Obviously, like, you know, killer ape. A lot of people are understanding, like, we understand why he's going to become a villain. Like, we support the villain story. Like, this is the origin story of a Marvel supervillain. And I don't know, but some of these TikToks, or even I guess some of them are Instagrams, some of these creators, they really spoke to me.
So there's this monkey. He has a stuffed animal that he carries around and he thinks it's his mom. His name is Punch. Someone's gotta do something, man. I don't know why we have a 24-hour feed into the zoo. It feels like an experiment to see how sad I'll get. The other monkeys won't accept him. It is their own. Today, an older monkey beat him up. He beat him up, he dragged him around. I don't know why they're letting this happen.
I swear to God, if they don't stop bullying that little monkey and his stuffed toy, I am going to fly over there and take care of him myself. I'm at an airport. I'm ready to go. I'm this close.
And then some places, some brands, countries really got into it, like Italy. Italy posted this on Instagram. As of right now, it's got like 150,000 likes. It's a picture of a monkey holding the stuffy, looking out onto the Roman ruins with the Italian flag. It says, if he was abandoned in Italy, 15 minutes later, he has a nonna. And there he's sitting, there's Punch eating lasagna with a nonna, an Italian grandmother. 2 hours later, the whole piazza loves him. And there he is drinking like an Aperol Spritz. Oh my God. In the middle of a piazza with everybody drinking Aperol Spritzes. Next day, he's playing cards with Grandpa. Day 3, he's in the local traditions. It looks like he's like playing with a Parmesan wheel of cheese. I don't know, you guys tell me. This is all for visititaly.com, basically. Day 4, pasta fixed everything. And there's Punch with his stuffy eating a big plate of pasta and has a gorgeous glass of wine next to him. Day 5, from abandoned to beloved. And then it just shows, I just cry. I cry. And then IKEA did something brilliant. And, you know, again, we talk a lot about brands and their connection to pop culture and really understanding the moment and paying attention and how instrumental it can be in everything, in connecting to an audience and to reaching a zeitgeist. So this news spread very quickly that Punch's mommy was a stuffy from IKEA. And so IKEA put an ad with the monkey, and it says, sometimes family is who we find along the way. And then it's selling its Dschungelschlag, which is the orangutan, Punch's Comfort orangutan for $19.99. We're all Punch's family now. Hang in there, Punch. Keep going, Punch, said IKEA. It has over like 240,000 likes as of right now. And then the president of IKEA Japan descends upon the zoo with a slew. I think it was like, how many? I don't know, like 30, like a lifetime supply of these stuffies for Punch, but along with like a lot of other stuffed animals for a lot of the other animals at the zoo. And it's just like, one of those feel good. I mean, come on, like when brands get into it. But we have so much good news for Punch. He may still become a villain, and we will not fault him for that, right? We will not. But listen, I'm an auntie. I mean, I am an auntie. I love being an aunt. I am an auntie to my nieces and nephew. I am an auntie to their children, but I'm also an auntie to my friends' kids. Like I love that role for myself. And I love, like, the role of auntie is a very important one, whether it's blood or not. Like, let's be clear. It doesn't just mean in the Indian culture or the Persian culture. An auntie is an auntie. It does not need to be blood. And we can be in any culture. It is a woman who sort of steps up and has an important role in a younger person's life. And we have an auntie for Punch. And that auntie came in and took Punch in and started grooming Punch. And that allowed the rest of the community to sort of see Punch not as an outcast. And now Punch, like, I'm just showing videos. Punch is being loved up. Punch has little friends. Punch is going to be okay. Punch is going to be okay. But let me be clear. The internet still wins. Like, this woman, I am right there with her. I'm right there with her.
Now, this message is for the other monkeys in the enclosure trying to play my nephew, Cedric Lamar Jones, also known as Punch. You all need to stand down. Do you hear me? Because he's not the one or two. Because you see, I know a photo op when I see one. Gladys is an opportunist and only faked hug my nephew for the cameras. You can already see that Henry's not with it. He's not fake. He don't like the boy for real. And that's cool. But you won't be putting your hands on him. Now, I've already been on the phone, and if I have to take a trip to come pick up Quantavious P. Smith, I absolutely will. And you all better not put your hands on his toy. That belongs to him.
But I do have to say, like, this cement image breaks me. Like, there is too much. Like, I feel like the next thing we need to do is get the zoo to make its enclosure much more green and lush. And they are now having record numbers. Like, just look at these lines. Like, tens of thousands of people have descended upon the zoo to, like, really help Punch and support Punch and see Punch and all of that. Now, it may remind you of the Moo Dang craze, right? Everybody was, like, going crazy in the Moo Dang world. But no, let me be clear. That should not be a comparison because Moo Dang and Punch are very different. As this person on Twitter said, don't you dare compare Punch to Moo Dang. Punch came from the mud. He was abandoned, and all the other monkeys hate him. Moo Dang was a fat, pampered slob. Don't ever compare my goat to that fat little bitch. Oh my God, it's so good. I just don't know. But I'll close with this. Punch 2026. We are broken for him. Punch 2031. Come on. You know, villain or not, we support. If he's going to come into town and rape and pillage, we understand why. So I just love when there are moments like this that bring people together. Like, despite everything that's going on in the world, we are all now just, like, heartbreaking for this little monkey because that monkey has been ostracized and abandoned and bullied, and we will kill for Punch. Like, we will not sleep until Punch is vindicated. And it looks to be like, you know, that's happening. But maybe there's something we can do to help this zoo get, like, this is why zoos kill me. Like, these cement enclosures, it's all like, I know it's hard to see them when they're surrounded by, like, the lush jungle that they're meant to be. Like, they don't, but I feel like that's what these animals deserve. I'm so glad, on one hand, that Punch has the opportunity to survive, which he wouldn't have done in the wild. But on the other hand, it's heartbreaking that that's their life. I don't know. Shall we move on? Okay. So there's a lot of Olympic stuff that's gone on. A lot of amazing moments. And I know that the ice hockey thing, both men and women, by the way, amazing. And as a former puck bunny, I am all over it. It's amazing. We also had a political issue arise, which I will address, but The women's team that won the gold has very politely and elegantly declined the invitation by Trump to appear at the State of the Union because of schedules. But it has also been leaked that Donald Trump said while on the phone with the men's team that also won the gold medal and inviting them to the State of the Union, which they have agreed to and will have been to. And he was talking about how great of a night it was and all the stuff that they're going to do. He then, in a very Trumpy way, was like, and I suppose we're going to have to invite the women's team. Like, I'm going to have to invite them because everybody will get their like panties up in a bunch if I don't invite them. I mean, classic. So they said no. And we saw the image, like the guy with it's such an American image. I mean, a hockey image, I guess, where he's just smiling as big as a smile and like the teeth are broken and the blood's coming out. And it's just like, it's an unbelievable moment, and beating Canada. And now like the Republicans are trolling Canada. It's all so crazy. But anyway, that's not what I'm caring about, because from a pop culture perspective, what really transcended, it was like, this past week was basically Punch and Alysa Liu. LIU took me a minute to really understand how to pronounce it. I listened to a lot of correct ways of pronouncing it, Liu. She is from the East Bay in California. She is 20 years old. She is a fully just like all-American girl as far as I'm concerned. Very unique situation. So Alysa, you may have seen a lot of the press that came out before the Olympics, story about her father. So her father was a Chinese dissident. He, I think, was part of the Tiananmen Square protests, an immigrant to the United States. Let's just put a pin in that for a second. And he has 5 children, all via surrogate. 3, I guess, like, or I don't know if it was a birth mother, but surrogate eggs. It's a very strange situation. I'm not going to pretend to know all of the sort of ins and outs, but let's just say he was a very hands-on, like, father. And Alysa was shown to be a figure skating prodigy by the time she was 5. Just a remarkable talent. One of those just comes out of the womb a natural talent, and figured it out and just became a machine. And she was one of those stories that you see that's like more of like a classic, like maybe out of China, maybe out of Russia, just where these children are allowed to become these machines. No thought to their actual childhood, but everything was controlled, from what she ate, from when she slept, for what she went to school, her performances, her routines, her choreography, her costumes, everything, her workouts, everything was controlled down to like a millisecond by this father who was her coach, manager, or whatever. And as you can imagine, and especially as an American and you're growing up, like, you get to be 16 and you're like, holy fuck, no. Like, you start to realize there's more to this life and I'm not going to do it. She burned out and she quit, dramatically quit. Like, the most sort of promising American figure skater at that time just walked away, just was like, I'm out, peace out. I'm doing things. I'm going to go live like a teenager. I'm going to go and pierce my teeth, which is like she pierced herself in the gum area. Like, take a look. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to play what I want. I'm going to do whatever I want. And she did. And then a miracle happened. She started to realize a few years later that she actually did love the sport, but on her terms. She loved it and she missed it and she craved it, but she didn't crave or miss or long for the controlling aspects of it. And so she was like, I want to go back into it, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I am not doing it for medals. I am not doing it for the awards. I am not doing it for fame or recognition. I am just doing it because I want to do it. I love to do it. And I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to eat what I fucking want. I'm going to dance to what I want. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to make my own choreography. And she literally, I don't give a fuck, all the way to the gold at the Olympics. I mean, this story, I have like goosebumps. Like, if that is not the ultimate like American Girl story, I don't know what is. If that's not the ultimate sort of like the girl of the moment story, like I guess she's Gen Z, is she, or is she Alpha? I guess she's 20. I don't even know anymore. But this is that generation of just like, I'm so proud of this young woman that I don't know. Like, you see so many of these others, we've seen it. Like, I grew up in the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding days, or the Oksana Bayul, and all of those women, and they didn't look like they were having fun out there. They looked miserable. They looked terrified. They looked weathered. They looked beat up. They look like they're just muscle and not a healthy girl. Like, they've never had a French fry in their life. And now you have this girl who is all joy. She's like, whatever, I'm just doing my thing. Like, she could be shopping at Zara, but she's just like twirling around the ice. She makes it look seamless, effortless. She's effervescent. She's also a real girl. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not like, she's just not an anorexic thing out there. She is a girl with like, just like, looked like she just went to the movies with her friends and now it's like, let me just ice skate for you guys. It is pure joy. Iconic. So she is the moment. She really is the moment. Look at her talking about the piercing that she did herself.
Oh my God, yeah. So I style. So I pierced it like what? I think a little over 2 years ago now. It's pierced at the frenulum, so it goes through there, and you can see it when I smile.
Was that a painful piercing to?
No, actually, okay, it was 0 out of 10 pain. You can't feel it because the skin there is so thin, so you don't feel it at all. Also, I did it myself, so.
Did it yourself?
Yes.
What was that process like?
So I had my sister like hold up my lip, and I was like looking in the mirror, and I had my piercing needle, and then I just put it through.
I mean, this girl, is there anything she cannot do? And she is, she's mixed race. She's half Chinese, half Caucasian, just like East Bay through and through. Like, I don't know. I love this girl so much. So I'm going to read some of my favorite tweets. Alyssa's gold is a gift not only to the United States, but to all Asians who can now tell their parents that in order to come back and win, she had to fire her overbearing manager dad and do things her own way. From Angela Chen. Kellen Browning tweets, my entire timeline is either Alysa Liu yelling, that's what I'm fucking talking about, or punch the monkey getting bullied. Correct. Alyssa is the coolest person on the planet right now. Correct. And then Lord Almighty, you guys, this is a girl, by the way, the only politicians that she follows on Instagram, which is, by the way, more politicians than I follow on Instagram. I don't follow politicians, but she follows AOC and Mamdani. So one could deduce where her political assessments lie. Like, guys, I was an English major. Let's just like forget. I need grammar police on a regular. But let's just assume that she is politically aligned with a more left-leaning group of people. Also, she is the daughter of an immigrant. Okay. The House Republicans at House GOP tweeted picture of her in the gold. Congratulations to Alysa Liu, Olympic champion, ! Team USA gold medal, US flag. Girl. So some of the responses, people like retweeted it, said, she fucking hates you guys. Another person tweeted, claiming immigrants and their children when it's convenient and useful for you, fucking spineless snakes. Another one said, oh, so now we like the children of immigrants. And then Demi Lovato was like, stay away from her. Good for Demi Lovato. I love this tweet. This is a perfect meme. They've memed her. It says, you just lost to the woke agenda. Oh, it's so good. Alysa, this is to me, wins the internet. Alysa Liu being the first woke, I don't give a fucker alt baddie to win an Olympic gold medalist. That's how you make America great again. Once again, the women are the only good thing about America. And then I could go on, but we'll close on this one. Alysa Liu, first person to IDGAF, which is I don't give a fuck, herself to an Olympic gold medal. Bravo. Like truly, what a thing. What a thing that she's done. What a comeback story. We love a comeback story, but like this is a movie, right? A girl doing it on her own terms, like that other person tweeted, like telling her very overbearing Asian father, who is a political dissident, immigrant in America, like, no, I'm going to live the American dream. I'm going to eat fast food and watch movies and not wake up at 3 a.m. and not train my life away. And I'm going to do it my own way. And she wins it all with grace and humor and fun and keeping herself true to who she is.
I call up Philip and I tell him like, hey, I think I want to go back to skating.
And I said, oh, that's fun.
On she?
And I thought like, oh, you want to do collegiate competitions? And she goes, no, I want to compete again. And I said, let me call you back. I go and I grab a bottle of red wine and I open that bottle and I pour myself a really big glass.
And are you thinking this is a terrible idea?
This is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Terrible idea. 2.5 hours later of conversation with me trying to talk her out of it. And everything I said, like, oh, I said, other people have tried this and it was hard because they're older. She goes, I'm only 18.
Alysa made it clear on the FaceTime call, if she came back, she would be in charge going forward.
I get to pick my own program music. I get to help with the creative process of the program. If I feel like I'm skating too much, I'll back down. If I feel like I'm not skating enough, I'll ramp it up. No one's gonna starve me or tell me what I can and can't eat.
I love the arm on
Philip DiGuglielmo agreed with Alyssa's conditions.
It's really the stretch.
And brought back choreographer Massimo Scali.
It's like bam.
So I can't wait to see what comes from her. I really, really can't. And then, oh God, I don't even want to talk about this, but I have to because I did watch it while I was in my sick stupor. But anybody my age is very familiar with America's Next Top Model, the acronym ANTM. This was an iconic show, I guess in like the early aughts. Tyra Banks made a name for herself from being a supermodel, a model to a iconic business person. I remember meeting with her right as the show was at its height. And then she started productizing things like smizing. So she was launching an app called Smize. And I don't know how she got in touch with me, but I went to meet her at her beautiful Soho loft. And I'm sitting there and she may have smized. There was just not a lot. Like you can just see when somebody is just so singular in their vision that they just aren't aware of the world around them. And that's how she sort of presented herself to me. And I chose not to work with her on that project. It really wasn't something for us, but she created the show. She was the creator, the producer, the star. And the premise was we're going to find the next supermodel, but it's not going to be the classic, like we're going to go outside of weight norms and height norms, and we're going to go and look under rocks in the middle of Arkansas. We're going to find those models, those people, those girls that you might not look at and see model, but we're going to bring it out. And so going against, this was like body positivity and going against the grain of like the anorexic 90s heroin chic model. But of course that proved to be the exact opposite. And there was a lot of amazing things that happened on the show that we were sort of just like, okay, cool, part of watching it, I understand. And it wasn't until the sort of next generation, and they talk about it in the show, during COVID, everybody sort of discovering America's Next Top Model. And that generation, ones that didn't watch it initially, were like horrified by the horrible nature of how these women were treated, the things that they made them do. I mean, they made these girls dress up like murder victims and do a photo shoot as if they'd been murdered. There was one whose mother had been paralyzed in real life by a shooter, by gun violence, and they made her be a victim, dead from gun violence. Like, it would never fly in this day and age. They said that they were all about, all sizes and shapes, but they body shamed girls on camera in such horrific ways. They also, this was really the beginning, it was at that sort of height of reality TV. It was not as common as it's like now in everything, but I guess they believed, and they told the people that were in it, like, everything is on camera. And there was a girl who was so inebriated and then ended up in a sexual situation, and they kept the cameras on, and it's so terrible. Everybody involved was terrible that was doing it, except for these poor girls who just were sort of taken advantage of. But anyway, this docuseries is a 3-part docuseries, and Tyra Banks is in it. Like, she is in the interview looking like Carmen Sandiego meets Melania. I think that's why I was confusing Miranda. Like, she looks like a villain or like a spy. I don't know. Here's the deal. Back to my initial thing of her not just having any sort of self-awareness around the world, is like, she knew that this was her moment to sort of take back the narrative, because she has been painted as a villain for a number of years now because of how everybody sort of rewatched the show. And she and her team had time, one would think, to sort of like, regardless of whether they believed it or not, whether she truly believed it, to sort of reframe the narrative. And she could have come across as a very different person. Instead, no, she takes zero responsibility. She blames everybody. She blames the audience. And then there's some shocking stuff, which is her mentor, the person who starred on the show with her for the big parts of the show, Miss J, who taught her how to walk, is a very famous like model teacher, suffered a life-altering stroke, was in a coma for like 5 months, was in the hospital for 1.5 years, still cannot walk. And Miss Tyra Banks never visited him. So just take a look at some of the content creators' takes on her.
Oh, look, my hands were tied. I mean, I was not really involved on the production side. Well, see, at the time, it was okay to give girls eating disorders on national television. Now, now it's frowned upon. Look, I was also a victim. 25 people in that room. Not one of them asked me how I felt yelling at that girl, calling her a fat cow. At the end of the day ended. I didn't want to do these things. The producers made me do it.
So what was your role?
Executive producer.
Do I regret making that girl chop her own hand off? Of course I do. Of course I do. Do I see it differently now? Of course I do. 20/20 vision in hindsight, of course I wouldn't make her do that. But you guys made me do that. That's what I'm saying. It's reality TV. You guys would have been more mad at me if I didn't make her do that. You see what I'm saying? My hands were tied. Okay, production said, you have to do this or the show is canceled. Okay, even though it was my idea to make her chop her hand off. And I spearheaded the whole thing. But my hands were tied. You guys forced me to do that. Would I do that today? Of course I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't do that today.
And I think it's important to hear a few people involved, what they have to say.
Seeing Tyra's reaction to being asked, is she ready to speak about what happened between her and myself?
Can we talk now about what happened with you and Jay?
I should call Jay. I don't want to do this here.
To yourself.
Yeah.
My phone number's the same. She knows it. I have not gotten a phone call, but I don't think I will get that phone call, to be honest with you. And I'm not expecting it. In Tyra's world, and this can speak to everyone in Tyra's world, you don't leave Tyra. Tyra leaves you. If I never spoke with Tyra again in this lifetime, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with it. I don't need it.
Do you miss the friendship?
I don't. The thing that's really unfortunate around Tyra sending Miss J one text is it came way after Jay was out of the hospital. He was in a coma for 5 months, roughly, and then in the hospital for almost a year and a half. She's been in New York a ton. She's on all these shows, Victoria's Secret fashion show, making time to go by for a few hours to sit with the man in the hospital. I can probably say what everybody is thinking. It's just really poor behavior. And I know where it comes from, if I'm gonna be really honest with you. There's a level of fear that she doesn't want to face some things. And I'm just gonna be honest, she's stuck it out. Jay is getting stronger every day. He can get out of that chair. That's what people don't know. At the time of the documentary, he couldn't. He can. He can take steps. And look, if anyone is gonna walk again, it's Miss J. Jay's coming back, all the way back, let me tell you.
Yeah, and they're funny. I mean, there's some of the tweets are funny. There's this one, Tyra Banks avoiding every single bit of accountability for her role in the making of America's Next Top Model. And it's a very funny video of somebody like jumping down the stairs, running out. Tyra Banks on the ANTM documentary. I have done nothing wrong ever in my life, says this meme of this woman. And then a video of Nene from Real Housewives. So you mean to tell me Tyra Banks thought this documentary was going to help her? And then a gif of Nene Leakes saying like, no girl. There's lots of funny memes that came out of it. I will say it's a really shockingly interesting docuseries because of the amount of people that are involved in it. I'm shocked by how many people knew what the narrative was going in and that they knew they probably needed to change it and just were like, I don't give a fuck. Or maybe they really thought that they were going to come across differently. It boggles the mind. It made me think that like if I were to be on a reality show, if like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was like, Brooke, we want you as a cast member, I would be fired after episode 1 because it'd be like, what are you doing today? I'm putting fun clothes on my dogs and then I'm going to walk them. I mean, the most exciting thing that's happened to me this week was that my puppy ate a cigarette on the side of the road. I didn't get to it fast enough. And then an hour later went into nicotine shock and had to be hospitalized for 8 hours and have fluids pumped through her because she's a 90s supermodel. She likes tobacco. She likes espresso. She's probably going to ask me for cocaine at some point in the next few weeks. I don't know. But I would not make an interesting reality show person, I assure you, because I have more self-awareness and I'm boring. I'm super boring. That's it. The content-wise, I am very excited for Paradise Season 2 to start up. So keep an eye on that. I think the first episode is out now. I don't know what the schedule is. I try to wait so I can watch a bunch at one time. But that's it. I took too much of your time as it is. There's lots more going on. I'm sure we'll have a whole new batch of things to discuss next week. But in the meantime, let's pour one out for Punch. And I can't wait to see Punch's posse. And there's going to be more to come from the Punch stuff. Like move over Moodang. It's Punch's time. Thank you, Live Nation, as always, for helping me make this podcast. Thank you to my producers. Thank you to my dogs. And thank you guys for listening, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you next week.